Hello everyone, hope everyone's doing okay. And first of all, I want to begin this video with a big thank you to Behringer. Thank you so much for getting that DAW mode enabled with the update 1.7.2. That kind of slipped my radar, so I only just come across it. And I want to share with everybody how I got it to work with my version of Cakewalk by BandLab. Anyway, to begin with, there's a few caveats, and hopefully by sharing this video I am really hoping that some of you out there in the same position as I am, who got the Wing primarily as a control surface and interface for their home studios, would be able to follow suit and chime in with what lessons they have learned, so everyone could benefit. Anyway, to begin with, of course, going into the settings, the letter P to bring up your preferences panel. Under the MIDI, the devices, again I'm using my phone for this, so excuse the shakiness. We want to make sure we got the Wing MIDI DAW 1, 2 and 3. The control, I'm not sure what it's used for, but I left it checked in case. Maybe someone could chime in with why that is there. And on the outputs 1, 2 and 3, those are the MIDI devices that you will need to have enabled to have that DAW functionality. When you're moving the faders, it's going to be moving on your DAW as well. Anyway, let's go to the control surface section. And this is how you want it to be configured. Okay, you want it's going to act like three separate entities, like the old, well, not so much old, they're still in circulation, the Mackie MCU Pro. So you have the main unit and the first extender and the second extender, and these would be the matching ports. And the way you would add that in Cakewalk is add new controller surface, and you want to select Mackie control for the first one, and then XT for extensions 2 and 3, so you can have the benefits of 24 channels in entirety. We're not going to do it here because we've already have that in place. Now, as far as the MIDI is concerned, this is what I've done. I've just taken a Mozart piece, and just for the sake of copyright, I'm noticing that horrid glare from my lamp, please excuse me for that. For the sake of copyright, Mozart's being used, it's over 200 years old, so I think the copyright statute has indeed run out. What I have done here, the first 3 tracks are MIDI, actually the first 4, I've muted the 4th one, the cello part, and bounced it over to audio, and this is going to make sense in a second. But what I want to share with you first of all is, let's scooch over here. I've got a second monitor kind of dedicated to be a screen to show my console on Cakewalk. So we got the console there, and there we got the board, and let's have a look at the board now. We're going to click on DAW mode to turn it on, and we got the transport controls over here. And I'd like to share something with you. The main would give me the Roland Integra that's playing back the MIDI parts, and the alt would be the audio being pushed back through the USB MIDI. Now, what's beautiful here, if you take a look at my faders, I'm going to go on track 1. Take a look at track 1 in the console while I'm jiggling it about. At last, this brings me so much happiness. Let's move track 2, track 3, so on and so forth. And if I go over to, let's try to get my mouse working here. Okay, track 1, I'm going to jiggle that. Take a look at my console. And let's do the same with 2. That's for the sake of it, let's jiggle 4. Alright, so we finally got our faders on the console on the DAW mimicking the board, which is incredible. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play. and what I've got playing back is a Roland Integra, but the cello part is missing. Now the workaround that is whenever you're working with MIDI, unless of course I'm really hoping someone out there has the answer, or maybe someone at Behringer does. If you go into your setup menu and hit the Alt, this Alt will trigger the USB interface, and that will give you the audio that you've recorded in your DAW session. So right now I just have on track 5, the cello part bounce over to audio. So let's have a listen to that. And as you can see, track 5 is going. That's the audio, but we're not hearing the MIDI. That only seems to be output through the main. Also, another pet peeve that I have, I know from another user on Music Tribe forum that they actually got these things, these light meters to work in the DAW mode with Reaper. It does not happen with Cakewalk. I have tried poking around all the settings but with no joy. So let's play the track again, and we're going to bounce from the main to the USB. There's the main, and as you can see, we're in DAW mode. No activity. There's audio and no activity. Hopefully there's a firmware update that will help us Cakewalk users to be able to enjoy that. But until then, this remains a mystery. But for what it's worth, I am very, very grateful that the DAW mode has now been turned on. The last thing that comes to mind is whenever you are recording on your board and you wish to use some of these effects, it would be rather nice to be able to have those effects actually record onto your DAW. I don't know if it's this to do with routing or it's not able to happen when you're DAW recording, but to get the effects, I haven't figured that out, to record effects from the board straight to the DAW. That would be nice, so you could take advantage of a lot of the lovely effects that this board happens to have. So that's okay too, though. I can pretty much find an equivalent in the box. One last thing I'd like to share with you. I have made a looper for looping back audio from my computer, for example YouTube. And the way I've done that, I've got one of these things. This is a little splitter. I could split between my computer speakers, which is this guy, or my studio monitors, which is on B. I got one cable going from the computer to the sound card, and it splits up. This goes, number one goes to my bookshelves, which are pretty much duty for the speakers for the computer. And I have got a 2 1/4 inches going into what's called a stereo breakout cable. In case you're interested, this is it. You may have to do a search on the web for this guy. It's made by Hosa, and it's a YMPS 2SPF. This will do the trick for you. Also, this comes in handy, a little switch box. I've got my monitors plugged into there. So before I turn off my board, I can turn off my monitors right here, so I don't get that nasty pop that could potentially ruin my speakers. Anyway, that's it for now. Sorry to be long-winded and chatty. It's a little bit later here in Ohio and I'm getting a bit tired, so I hope this video is helpful to a lot of you out there, and if you are in a similar position and feel that you can help others, I would really love to see your video. In the meantime, take care and be excellent to each other. Bye bye.